Hi guys, this is Dr. Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor and your leverage for change. Today I want to discuss some ways that the dismissive avoidant attachment style individual can improve, can start the process of changing their attachment style, and as I always mention that this attachment style, this individual with this attachment style, is someone who is not going to be too willing to go and ask for help, because that is one of their major issues in changing, is that they believe that they must do whatever it is for themselves. They don't ask for help because as children, when they asked for help, they never got it. So they learned very early that whatever it is that they need, they have to do it themselves, get it themselves, fix it themselves, right? So they're not going to be going out there asking for help. So I'm making this video for those of you who are dismissive and you want to be able to maybe work on this at home by yourself. All right, so I'm going to give you some strategies to how it is that you can actually become it's going to help you to become more secure. That's the actual end goal, is for you to become more secure. But in the process of getting to be more secure, that's very vague, right? But how do you? What are the steps that you can take? What are some behaviors that you can manage to becoming more secure, right? So the first thing to any change, and this is going to apply to anyone seeking change, and this is to the awareness. The first thing is the awareness that there is a problem. There is a problem. A lot of individuals with attachment style issues, they have been acting from a specific place and from a specific lens from their trauma, their childhood trauma, that they have not come to the place where they are aware of that there's a problem. And look and see, and the way you can see this is that you've been in so many different relationships. You're either ending up with the same types of individual. One, there's a problem why you get connected to these individuals, and also you also respond the same way in each of these things, in each of these relationships. And maybe you also hear your partner complain about or ask you to change certain behaviors that you've been doing, and these are usually very detrimental to the relationship, to the success of the relationship. So the awareness is really very important. So if you're aware now that, okay, perhaps maybe my partner is always saying that I don't spend time with them, and I feel cold and distant, then you have to, that is how you become aware of what the problem is. Maybe you're not one of those who, for example, you first have to find out what those things are. And it's really good for you to write them down, because when you have it written down, it's more tangible for you to actually make the change when things are written down than when it's just kind of floating around in your head. All right, so write down the things that you may have heard people complain about all the time, and write those things down. And so now once you write them down, you become very aware, because awareness comes also when you write it down. It's cemented into your mind when you write things down. And if you don't, and take a look at it from every now and again to make sure that you are actually aware of when you do these things, so you can say, oh, I'm doing that thing. So you're aware of it, right? You become aware of it. It's not just now running automatic throughout your life and your relationships. So the next thing, that guys, is one of the biggest things, is that I've discovered from many individuals who have dismissive avoidant partners, is that they don't listen, really. They don't really take the time to listen. It's usually, they're kind of impatient when they're listening. They might say, can you hurry up and just get to the point? Or because they don't like a lot of fluff. And a lot, and the attachment style that does that a lot is like somebody who's anxious, right? And mostly, people just go and explain every single detail. But this person who is dismissive is not going to be very patient. They're kind of impatient, and so they will want to just hear what is the point. They don't want to hear anything else around it. So now, when you are as a dismissive partner, you now have to really try to practice active listening, which means that it's going to be uncomfortable, guys. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. No changes are really ever easy, because you're doing something different from what you've always done. So active listening, meaning that you're going to actually sit down instead of standing up and ready to move off, kind of giving that body language thing, and I'm just hurry up and done kind of thing. Sit down and listen to the person. Listen to them, look at their expression, facial expressions, hear what they're saying, and if you don't understand what they're saying, ask questions. Now this is going to take effort, time, and practice, guys. I'm not saying this is going to be easy, but if you're committed to making this relationship work, as well as changing your usual subconscious patterning of behavior, of just letting, making people feel unheard, then you will work on this. And so you have to now sit down with that person. Actually sit. If they're sitting down, sit beside them. Right? If they're standing up, stand beside them. And don't be turning your body language is very important as well. Don't be turning on or looking like you're ready to leave. You know what I'm saying? Because you want them to just hurry up and done kind of thing. All right? While you're listening to them, validate their feelings. Understand what they're saying and validate. I can understand why you feel that way. Right? That's also very difficult for that person because they just were not connected emotionally to their parents, so it's very difficult. But this is practicing. It's a practice. You have to practice doing it. Practice being uncomfortable is going to be uncomfortable, and tell your partner, if it's a partner that you're working with, your marriage partner, right, or you're in your relationship and you are committed in a relationship, then practice. Tell the person that just to be patient with you. Tell them what you're trying to do, and both of you can work on that together, because it will take that other person also recognizing that you're trying to make changes for their relationship. All right, and I'm sure that they will. If it's a good partner, then they will appreciate that. So take responsibility for your actions, right? Being dismissive can be kind of hurtful to others. You tend to hurt people, not even sometimes recognize it, or maybe it's kind of like you don't really care, or you might think that they're too sensitive. Whatever it might be, if this person's action says that you've hurt them, then it's tell them that take the responsibility and apologize, right, when necessary. And also, it's very important to practice empathy. And empathy is really kind of trying to walk into the other person's shoes, step into the other person's shoes, and seeing how they may feel about whatever is being discussed. So these are things, guys, that are, this is the first step, I would say, for someone with a dismissive to really take, because this is so difficult. And please remember that every change is going to take time. It's going to take, you're going to fail sometimes. And I, explain to you, hopefully the partner that you have is on board with you to recognize that you're really trying, but there are things that you fail. And when you fail, ask them to tell you when you fail, so that you can both go ahead and move together, right? The thing about being in a relationship, guys, is that I've always said to my clients that when you're in a relationship, you cannot be fighting against each other. You have to be together fighting against the problem, not against each other. If you're doing something that's wrong, then you come together and figure it out together how you can make this thing better. Okay? Not against each other. That's a recipe for disaster. And of course, it is very important to work on building trust. And so that's why it's important for you to actually speak to your partner before you start doing these things. First of all, you need to trust them to a point, right? Because this is one of the biggest problems with the dismissive avoidant, is that you guys don't trust really easily. You didn't trust that somebody will be there for you. You didn't trust that because that's from your childhood trauma. So now you have to work on building this trust in your relationship with these people that you're trying to. And usually if it's your partner, hopefully that they will be on board with making sure that they don't do anything to cause you to distrust them. And so you have to discuss all these things that you really have an issue with, problem trusting someone. So, you need to know that they are on board with that, right? Now, remember, guys, of course, one of the best ways, especially when you're making any changes, is to actually have a therapist or a counselor or a coach like myself, to help you along that process. Because what that does, we provide that outside perspective, and also we are supportive in your goal. When you have issues, you can come and get feedback, and we can give you the perspective that is not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear, right? what, because when you go to your friends, a lot of times people are just going to tell you what you want to hear because they don't want to break that relationship. Now when you work with someone, then you have that commitment to work towards your goal. You have accountability to that person to do the task that they've set out for you to do if you are really serious about growing. So this is why it's really important also to work with a therapist. And the therapists are trained for this purpose, right? And now I see a lot of people everybody's a relationship coach, but they've never studied it. They've just been in a relationship and they think that they can now give advice to everybody else. But there are things that, of course, personal experience is good, but there are also other psychological and other things that you need to learn to be able to really do this kind of work, because there are different tools that you can use, and so and different insights that you get as you study about relationships. So guys, please, if you've learned something, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you can get notifications, and also click that notification bell so you can get notified when I upload new videos. I'm trying to upload at least once or twice a week. It's a little challenging sometimes depending on my other things that I need to do, but I'm trying to upload at least once, twice. Sometimes it might be 3. Sometimes I have a little more time than others. So bear with me, and just please like for sure, share, comment. If you find something that you might need answers to, or if you have some comment that might help this conversation, please comment below, and I'm trying to respond to as many people as I can. So again, guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor, and your leverage for change. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.